Chapter 8. The Code in the Dark. The pitch blackness of the locked office pressed in on Nancy, thick with the scent of old dust and stagnant harbor air. For a single heartbeat, her breath caught in her throat. Then, her classic composure returned. She reached into her wool coat pocket, her fingers sweeping past the brass cylinder until they found the familiar, comforting shape of her small silver flashlight. She clicked it on. A sharp beam of white light cut through the gloom, illuminating the desk. Working quickly, Nancy snatched Lord Ashley's coded diary from the ripped lining of the valise. She sat in the heavy wooden desk chair, propping the flashlight between two old ledgers so the beam shone directly onto the leather-bound booklet. As she flipped open the cover, her eyes met rows of baffling hand-inked symbols, altogether different from the aristocratic English script of the letter. It looked like an impenetrable wall of geometric shapes, dots and slashes. "Think, Nancy," she whispered to herself, her blue eyes scanning the patterns. Lord Ashley was an Edwardian gentleman, an intellectual. He wouldn't have used a military cipher on a commercial transatlantic voyage. He would have used something elegant, yet simple enough to write in a hurry. She noticed a recurring pattern, a small triangular crest that appeared at the beginning of every single line. It was identical to the emblem scratched into the base of the Titanic headstone at Fairview Lawn. The crest isn't just a signature, Nancy realized, her magnifying glass hovering over the ink. It's the key. Using the 3 points of the triangular crest as a baseline grid, she applied a classic variable substitution cipher, a technique her father, Carson Drew, had taught her during a case back in River Heights. Letter by letter, the mysterious geometric shapes began to melt away, revealing a hidden message beneath. Nancy's breath hitched as she read the decoded sentences aloud in the quiet room. "The sapphire is not in the valise. The thief watches my cabin, but he looks for a jewelry box. He does not see the artisan's craft. I have concealed the Star of Acadia inside the secret hull compartment of the vintage wooden ship, the replica of the Sovereign of the Seas. It is my gift to my young nephew in Nova Scotia. If the sea claims me, the model will find its way to the Halifax Maritime Museum." Nancy dropped her magnifying glass onto the desk, her mind reeling. The priceless sapphire had never been buried in the cemetery, and it wasn't hidden in this derelict warehouse. For 20 years, it had been sitting in plain sight, on display inside the Halifax Maritime Museum. Suddenly, heavy, slow footsteps crunching over broken glass echoed from the warehouse floor outside. The footsteps stopped directly in front of the office door. "You're a long way from River Heights, Miss Drew," a harsh, mocking voice growled through the thick oak panels. It was the son of the crooked 1912 official. "And I'm afraid your little investigation just reached the end of the line. Hand over the diary through the mail slot, or I think it's time you took a permanent swim in the freezing depths of Halifax Harbor."